Hi and welcome to Krannert Art Museum Yoga. I'm Jody. Grateful to be here to be guiding you through practice once again. So you'll want a strap for today, you'll want a couple of blocks. You can have a bolster or a pillow, something like a firm pillow from the couch. And a blanket can be nice as well. So anything else that you need, maybe your favorite essential oil, some aromatherapy while you practice. You can also have an eye pillow for your eyes. So with all of that, you can just come to the ground. I always like to start in a heart opener. We often crowd in the chest as we sit all day, and so it's a nice opportunity to really open up. So find that you can't do this too often, or you probably don't do it enough. So one block can be under the shoulder blades. So shoulder blades here on that low height, and then it just depends. I like to have the block at the second highest height. It depends on your anatomy, what's going on with your body. You don't have to have blocks. You can also use the blankets. You can tri-fold the blanket, and then this can just be under the hips and the head. So reclining back, setting yourself up. And then feel free to stretch out, legs long. You can always have support under the knees. Feet can go wide. Arms relaxed alongside the body, just giving you space between shoulders and ears. And we're not looking for a deep stretch reflex at this point, so just a nice relaxed body without too much sensation. Thinking of this as an opportunity to step onto the mat and see where you're at in life. See where the body's at, mind, heart. Noticing the breath. You can take a few deeper breaths. Making any last adjustments to the body, feeling safe, feeling held, fully supported here, so you can just focus. Mind is often busy, scattered energy, so a moment to harness the power of the mind to be present. The more we can practice that here, the more we can be present in our own lives. Without the effort, without the mindfulness training, it just happens because we do the work here. So dropping down into the body, finding the quiet within, beginning to attend to the breath. Just letting the mind have that one point of focus of the breath. You can begin to shape the breath, so your inhalations begin to match your exhalations. So you might be inhaling to a count of 2 or 3 or more. And then exhaling to do that same count. Without forcing, without placing judgment on the breath. It's just breath. Just see where you're at. And start to breathe in your intention, what you want to receive from this practice. Thinking about consciously releasing Any obstacles in your way, still keeping that symmetrical breathing pattern. Just a few more cycles of breath like this. One more cycle of breath. Take your time and just returning to a natural rhythm of breath after your next exhalation. Moments to pause, to notice, just to be. Keeping this connection to yourself, to your breath, throughout your practice today. Just noticing where you feel most connected, where you might lose sight of that connection. Staying curious about the mind-body connection. And then as you're ready, starting to create some movements in the body. You can move fingers, move toes, maybe beginning to stretch arms overhead if that feels good. And then if you're on props, you can start to stretch arms more to the sides. I always like to come into more of a goalpost arms or cactus arms position. Feeling more of the broadening and stretching across the chest and into the inner arms and shoulders. And knees can always bend if this isn't comfortable for the low back. Taking a few deeper breaths here. One more breath. Relaxing the arms, bending one knee, bend the other if you're not there already. Letting the feet plant, and then take your time. You can start to roll to either side, just carefully releasing off of the props. And curl more into a fetal position with the head supported by the arm. And then start to roll back onto the back. So have the props nearby. You can have one block and have your strap nearby. Bending knees, planting feet. Relax the arms alongside the body. Inhale. Noticing the natural curvature in the low spine, and then as you exhale, just tuck the tailbone, flattening out the low back. And then inhale to relax, release. And exhale, finding that tucking of the tailbone, flattening out the low back. And then on your own, just a couple of rounds just like this. And as you flatten the low back and tuck the tailbone, keep that as you draw the knees into the chest. And just a moment here to separate the knees as much as is comfortable. Hands just resting on the shins or the knees, heels are heavy, head is heavy. You can rock the head a little from side to side with that heaviness. Back through center, stilling any movement. Taking a full deep breath into the lower abdomen. And then starting to press the knees closer together. And then just planting one foot, planting the other. And from here you can take hold of your block. Just know where the block is, gazing skyward, tuck the tailbone, press into the earth with the feet, lift the hips up, place the sacrum on top of the block. So relax the arms, you can tuck the shoulders away from ears. This should feel comfortable. Again, the body should not have any sharpness or pain sensation. Should be able to breathe fully. Taking 3 more deep breaths here. So even if you don't have a block, you should be on some sort of height, maybe a pillow, maybe a folded blanket. Just 1 more breath. Keeping that groundedness in the hips, you can start to bend one knee, thigh to the belly, bend the other, thigh to the belly. You can stay here if this feels comfortable for you. This can be a nice stretch for the glutes and the low back, or drawing the feet skyward. So coming into waterfall, you can point, flex through the feet, waking up the extremities. Inverting the legs. You can start to roll at the ankles. Both directions. Spreading toes. Relaxing the toes. You can start to bend the knees. Bring the soles of the feet closer together, knees more out to the side. Just staying here. Again, this is an option. You can support the thighs with the hands, or you can start to extend the legs out to the sides. More of a sensation of stretch. You're going to just have micro bends to knees. And toning through the legs, just supporting the knee joint. Yeah, just a few breaths. Releasing any tension. So you relax the eyes, the face, the jaw. One more breath. Taking your time, you can start to rebend your knees. If you're not there already, drawing the knees a little closer together, and then plant one foot, plant the other. I'm settling here. Feet grounding. Inhaling, lifting hips up. Tuck the tailbone, ride the breath down as you exhale. So curling the spine all the way down to the ground. Tailbone meets the mat very last. Just a moment to notice, to be present, to breathe. It may feel good to take a full body stretch. So arms long, legs long, reset the body, spread the fingers, spread the toes. Rock out the legs. Bending one knee, bend the other. Making sure you've got your strap within arm's reach. So from here, you're going to draw the knees into the chest. You're going to come into a twist, and we're twisting with the legs over to the right. But have the strap in hand, legs to the right, placing the strap right at the ball of the left foot. And then the strap ends come into the right hand as you reach that left leg away from you, and then the left arm in the opposite direction. So I'm really getting more into this outer hip. That pressure of driving the foot into the strap draws the hip away from the shoulder, and you get this beautiful spaciousness all through that left side. You can gaze over the left shoulder as long as it doesn't crowd or crunch the shoulder and the neck. And then just see how much you can soften here. Connecting to the breath, Sometimes I like to have a block between the knees. Sometimes it feels like a little bit of a compression in the hips. You can always have a pillow between the knees if that feels more supportive. Just take 3 more breaths here. You can start to bring the gaze skyward, and again, we're pressing the foot into the strap, starting to feed the strap out more as you start to circle the leg down towards the ground, towards the bottom of the mat. Take your time. So the whole time you should be feeling this stretch in the outer hip, feeling supported in the legs as you rock back onto the back slowly, planting the sole of the right foot, and keeping that strap connected to the left foot. You can start to draw it skyward. You can have a softness to the knee, and we're just keeping the right knee bent for now. And then if it feels good, moving that block out of the way, if it feels good, start to stretch through the right leg. So the right knee can stay bent, or you can start to extend through that leg. Not necessary. Just a few breaths. One more breath. And again, we're keeping the strap connected to the foot. Bend the knee to the side, bringing the sole of the foot to the inner right thigh. And you've got maybe your block, maybe a strap or a pillow, that's what I'm trying to say, alongside you. So you can prop up that left knee. And we're just in a tree pose, so a reclining tree. You can grow branches with the arms and fully let go. Breathing into the front of the pelvis. Want to make sure there's alignment from that right hip to the right knee to the right heel. Make sure that trunk of your tree is nice and aligned, straight and even. You should be able to fully relax here, feeling supported by the earth, by props. And close the eyes, just feel sensation. These longer, deeper holds, the mind will wander. So you can return to the breath, maybe even that symmetrical breathing pattern that we practiced at the beginning, at the start of the practice. Just one more breath. You can reach down with the left hand, maybe underneath that left thigh, a little arm strength as you replant that left foot. And strap just off to the side. You can bring the left sole of the foot on top of the right thigh. We're going to twist to the right, so you can bring that right hand to the outer thigh, left arm extended out, just another opportunity to twist. Just making any adjustment you need to with the head, with the shoulder, and with that left arm to feel expansive here. One more breath. Starting to rock back onto the back. Bending both knees, take your time and hug them into the chest. And again, maybe a little rocking from side to side. And then back through center. We're twisting to that left side. So do that whole sequence on the other side. So as you release the legs over to the left, you can always use props. You can use the strap at the ball of that right foot. Extend the right leg out. You can take hold of the strap with the left hand, right arm out to the side. And again, for me, I always like to have a little bit of space between the legs. So you just keep that alignment of the hip to the knee to the ankle. For me, that's just a safer way to practice. Just find what's right for you. You can gaze over the right shoulder. Again, keeping that action of pressing into the right foot. So you're not just letting gravity do all the work, but you're actively pressing so that draws the hip away from the shoulder and you're getting more of that space on that right side. And just breathe fully. And play with the placement of that right arm. It can explore a little. Just 3 more deep breaths here. And then take your time here. Just aligning the neck, gazing skyward. Keep pressing the foot into the strap. You're just circling the leg. Eventually we're coming onto the back, but take your time. So there's goodness along the way, keeping that pressure, that stretching, that activity. Think about reaching that sole of the foot away from you and ultimately the heel back on the ground as you rock back onto the back. And the strap stays on the ball of the right foot. And then from there, you can keep the left knee bent. Start to draw that right foot skyward. You can have a soft knee. Just finding alignment. So making sure that the toes are as if you're standing. So you're not angling the leg to the side, but there's alignment. The knee is facing forward. The foot is facing forward with the toes. The hips are grounding evenly. The spine is tall. So you've got some good alignment happening. Then once you're here and it feels good, there might be an opportunity to lengthen through that left leg. So hopefully even feeling more of a stretch in that left hip flexor psoas. You can flex through the foot, drive the thigh to the ground, and breathe. And you can always come into that more symmetrical breathing pattern here. Notice where the mind has wandered. Just take 3 more breaths. And then very slowly in the transition, you're keeping the foot in the strap. And that way you can kind of draw that heel in towards the inner groin as you bend the right knee to the side, and then ultimately the sole of the right foot touching that inner left thigh. It's nice to always use a bit of a prop. So if your leg floats, if your hips are tight like mine, you can use a blanket underneath that right thigh or knee. Just finding what you need here. Deep breaths. And arms relaxed, the head is heavy, eyes can close. One more breath. And then start to reach down with the right hand and draw the knee back through center, the sole of the right foot on top of the left thigh, taking hold of that thigh with the left hand, right arm reaches out. We're just twisting here, maybe gazing over the right shoulder. Breathe, creating space in the body with every breath. One more breath. And then slowly beginning to release back onto the back. Both knees hug into the chest. You can start to circle with the knees. Circling in the opposite direction. And coming through stillness, just rolling over to either side, curling more into that fetal position once again. And then starting to make your way to child's pose, so staying low to the ground. Keep that roundedness in the spine. Just making that mindful, slow transition to Balasana. Knees can go wide, hips to heels, resting the head somewhere. Hands, a pillow. Just breathe. One more breath. Beginning to stretch long through the arms, wrists in line with shoulders, elbows lift, lifting the gaze to fingers, and then lift hips up and back. Curl the toes under, finding your down dog. You can start to pedal out through the feet here, bending one knee, bending the other. Just exploring the body. And finding stillness, just one more breath. And step the feet nice and wide, maybe as wide as the mat. Ground through the feet, knees can be soft as you walk your hands back towards the feet, a forward fold. Your choice to explore, you can rock back and forth, you can sway side to side. You can move just the head or move the torso, or be still. Just a few breaths to explore this on your own. One more breath. Bending knees, hands to the thighs, pressing into them with the strength of the arms to grow the spine tall. Take your time lengthening through the legs. Arriving through standing, just taking some rolls through shoulders. Up, back, and down as you breathe. And then stepping the feet, maybe hip distance. You can bring your hands to your hips, spread through the toes, really ground through the feet. Knees can be soft as you just start to circle into the hips. So we're moving into the hip flexor, psoas area, creating space there. You can start to circle in the opposite direction. Finding stillness. Relax the arms alongside the body. Just breathe. Your mountain pose. Strong, stable, connected. You can open the eyes with a soft gaze. And finding your 2 blocks, we'll place those at the high height at the top of the mat. Finding your mountain pose in front of the blocks, hands to the hips, inhale, lengthen. Slightly arch the back, and then exhale, hinging forward with softer knees. Finding the blocks, left foot grounds, right foot steps. We're just going to step into a lunge, so make sure this feels safe and supportive for all the body parts. Hands to the blocks, just framing that front foot. You can start to rock back and forth. Starting to really tone through that right glute, right hamstring. And then finding a moment to pause, to breathe, still keeping that glute engaged and active. Think about creating space between the belly and the thighs, so toning through the core. Really lengthening through the spine. Just one more breath. From here, take your time. You can start to step forward. The right foot grounds. The left foot steps back. And again, just rocking back and forth. And spread toes, broaden through feet. Breathe. Finding a place of stillness, tone through the left buttock, that left glute, the left hamstring. Beautiful, nice long line of energy from the heel through the crown of the head. Everything's engaged, but no tension. One more breath. And from here, we're just going to move the blocks out of the way, framing that front foot, stepping back into plank. So it's your choice. You can vinyasa or just meet in a down dog. So inhale, preparing, shifting forward, maybe knees to the earth. You can lower down nice and slow with control. Take your time. Then inhaling a cobra. Want to strengthen back body core, lengthen through the spine and the legs. And then you can press through knees or not. Curl toes under or back in down dog. Pressing the mat away, tall spine. Just one more breath here. Stepping the feet wide once again. So the feet as wide as the mat. Pinky toe edges of the feet in line with the mat. Bend knees. Walking the hands back. Another forward fold. You can think about lifting the tailbone skyward. You can always still keep the knees soft, but more engaged in the hip flexors. So that compressive energy, the thighs to the belly. Belly to the thighs. Strong body. Strong engagement. One more breath. And again, knees can be soft here, but bring your hands to your hips. Inhale to rise. So take your time in that transition through standing. Once you arrive, you can just step to the top of the mat once again. We'll play with those lunges once again. So mountain pose right by the blocks, hands to the hips. Inhale. Exhale, hinging forward. We can always start with the block, so hands go there. Left foot stays, right foot steps. So it's the same thing, engagement of that right glute. The quad's active, the core is active. You can stay at the blocks or hands to the thigh. You can stay here, or it's an arching of the back. It's an engagement of the back body to really open the front of the body. At the same time, you're keeping that leg nice and active and long, hips squaring forward. Arms can come to goalpost arms or cactus arms. You can also uplift the arms, maybe uplift your gaze. Breathing here, finding length in the spine, space in the shape. One more inhalation. And then as you exhale, hands framing that front foot, sweeping it back, coming into plank. From here, just playing with a side plank. So you can shift over to the left, coming onto the left pinky toe edge of both feet, lifting the right arm. You can also release that left shin to the earth, having more of a kind of a support kickstand, so to speak. You can also separate the feet, stacking one in front of the other. Just one more breath. And then transitioning back to plank, and then just coming over to that right side. So finding what works for you here. Again, coming through those options. Whatever you did on that first side, you can do on the second side. One more breath. And then coming back to plank, preparing to vinyasa, inhale, shifting forward, maybe knees to the earth as you exhale. Lengthen out. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower back down. One more time. Inhaling. Start to press the mat away. You can curl toes under, lift hips up and back to down dog. Inner big toes touch here. And then inhale the left heel skyward. Exhale, step it through. We're coming back to that lunge position. You can find the blocks or kind of freestyle it with hands to the hips. Either way, you're stepping forward, back into mountain pose, relaxing the arms alongside the body. And just reconnecting to the breath. Just see how you feel here, checking in. And then hands to the hips once again. Inhale. Exhale, hinging forward at the hips to find the blocks. Right foot stays, left foot steps. So there's space between the feet, the hips squaring forward, legs active, that left glute very active to open up that hip flexor. Maybe you stay, maybe the hands come to the thigh. You can release the arms away, fingers reaching down, or again, goalpost arms, cactus arms, or uplifted. Breathing. Arching the back, opening the heart, inhale. And exhale, keep all that length in the spine. As you frame the front foot, you can move the blocks out of the way, sweep it back to plank. From here, inhale. As you exhale, maybe lower down through your chaturanga and hover. Flipping the toes over, inhale into your up dog. And then exhale, pressing up and back to down dog. And then inhale, that right leg, lift it skyward. Exhale to step it through. Planting the foot. Again, you can use the blocks or hands to the hips. Stepping forward as you're ready. Relax the arms. Just mountain pose here. Connecting to your breath and finish an exhalation. Inhale, sweep the arms up, open the heart, lengthen. Keep all that length as you swan dive, hinging at your hips and soften knees. A deep inhalation lifts you halfway. And exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, stepping back. Again, it's your choice. You can vinyasa once again, or just down dog. So inhale, preparing. Exhale, lowering. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Always your choice. Exhale, back to down dog. Then releasing knees to the earth, inner big toes touch. And flow through a couple cat-cows. Inhale, lift the gaze, lift the tailbone. Exhale, rounding the spine, pressing the mat away. Inhale, lengthen and open. Exhale. One more time, inhaling. As you exhale and press the mat away, sink the hips to the heels. Coming into child's pose once again, opening up through the back body. 3 deep breaths. Starting to press the palms under the shoulders, walking the hands back. And we're just simply transitioning through seated. So hips can shift to one side, sweep the legs out. A moment to come to a comfortable cross-legged seated position anywhere on the mat. Relax the arms. Start to bow the head. Relaxing in the neck and the shoulders. You can start to sway the head from side to side, opening up into the neck. Eyes can close. Just breathe. Head is heavy. And start to round the spine. Start to take hold of the knees. Make sure there's plenty of room back behind you. And you're just going to lay on your back. Curling the spine the whole way down. Hugging knees into the chest or a happy baby. Anything that you need to finish your practice. Feeling complete in your practice. Just another moment to explore that. And start to release the feet. Let the legs go long, feet wide, arms alongside the body. Tuck the shoulders down away from ears. You can always have support under the knees, or you can even finish with legs up the wall. Just feel spacious here. Closing the eyes and taking rest. Begin to deepen your breath. To reawaken your body with movement, fingers and toes, moving ankles and wrists. Open and close the mouth into a yawn or a deeper breath, stretching arms up overhead. Bending one knee, bend the other. Take your time. As you're ready, rolling gently to either side, just finding that fetal position once again with the head supported. And recall your intention here, taking that with you or something new. Just recognizing what you need now as you reemerge back into your life. And with closed eyes or a soft gaze, take your time, using arm strength, pressing up through seated with a rounded spine and a heavy head. Arriving through seated, feeling that rootedness, that groundedness through the sit bones as you grow the spine tall. And open the heart. Bringing hands to the heart to acknowledge this practice and yourself with a grateful heart. And I'm grateful for the honor to lead and guide you through this healing practice. Namaste. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day.